Scott, hi. Thank you for the introduction and all of the ceremonial beginnings of our usual Q&A webinar. Um, as you know, Brad's not here. He's locked up in my basement. You know, he can't speak. Nope. I'm going to be showing you some stuff today that I'm not allowed to show you. Barry, you can't jump through. You can't do it. Yeah, it's just Dan today, guys. Be very careful for what you're about to see. But before we start the show, arguably, most likely, the best webinar you're ever going to be at so far, we must tell you that Trade Ideas is not a registered investment advisor. All the information that you're going to hear from me is for educational and informational purposes only. Should you ever need to buy a security for your own self, like a stock, you should consult a registered investment advisor. Okay, now that the disclaimer is out of the way, we have been starting the Q&A with this from the theme of the QAnon messaging that has really come to take shape as a decentralized way for people to gather information. Past proves future. It's a slogan of the 8chans, the 4chans, and interestingly enough, it completely applies to investing because that's how we scout. We look in the past to see what the market has done, and we use that information to glean as to how to behave in the future, tomorrow. As you guys all know, right now, especially for the ones that are new to Trade Ideas, you're here for, and there's no surprise, by the way, Scott or Barry, that there's so many people who aren't signed up yet because kind of word is getting out. We have very special technology, and you're going to see it today. And it's technology that isn't revolutionary in the sense that we've been around for a while, since 2003 developing it. But even now, Goldman Sachs themselves just did an interview where they said, you know, guys, passive investing is going to get you passive returns, and it's a stock picker's market. Well, we've said that that's been the market forever. Even when there's a bull market, it's still a stock picker's market, because had you been just in Dell Computer in the 90s, you would have made 36,000% on your investment, and no S&P did that, no matter how good you slice it. So a lot of the things that we're doing involves breaking the notions of what is and isn't valuable information. So again, we use mathematical data of the past, and we work to use that to create statistical advantages for the future. There's a simple way that we want to approach your inculcation into this, and one of the ways we do it, and again, Barry Anderson is here. He's answering a lot of your questions. Barry is our head moderator at the Trade Ideas Trading Room. This is all free. This is where you can witness how our technology is used, what we are doing, and also, of course, the best practices. It's a meritocracy of some of our finest users, and of course, Barry making sure that the flow of information is a positive sum game. So that's one of our first slides. I want to really give it merit. If you have never done anything having to do with Trade Ideas, this link is just a no-brainer. Okay, so I'm gonna jump into it real quick. I'm gonna minimize the PowerPoint, and like I did last time, especially for you guys who are beginners, I'm opening Trade Ideas in a way that's a little bit different. This is our welcome screen, and it's fully functional welcome screen where you can really access quite a bit of information. I'm also suggesting, and again, you can open this up from your toolbar, I'm just suggesting that you experiment with things that you might not have seen. There's a really cool thing that happened to me today in a discussion I had with Steve Gomez, one of our head educators and members of our team, also Today Trader on Twitter. And Steve was just realizing that we had this functionality that he did not know was available. And he's like, it really is like this mind where there's so much technology built in here, there's so much power, so much undiscovered potential, that it really takes lots of time to be able to find these crumbs that can lead you to some, in a customized way, again, to something that no one else has. And that's really what I'm trying to say, is that aside from all the pre-configured things, you can explore as far as you want. And one of the best ways to explore is with this fully functional welcome screen, where you can look at all the tools that we have, how they work, and of course, you can launch all of those windows. You can, again, go through all of this and have a way where it's very interactive. For a beginner, you know, notice there's no charts, no nothing, but you can see that we've got channels. So what I'm going to do is, now I'm going to press the winners channel so we can see what happened today in terms of something positive. So it's as simple as that. We are the Netflix from that perspective. And what our software is doing right now, it is surfing for you. Mike, exactly. Daily Candlestick. Mike, who knows how to use the software and has been at these webinars before, is pointing that out. We have all of these patterns, exactly. And again, this is why we're not making this up. There's just so much technology. There's 13 years of technology that keeps being built upon this, but in a way that we believe is the most productive and at the same time functional way, because we layer this information on top. So here you are, you have the winners channel, and our software is taking you through all the various windows by itself and kind of giving you a highlight of all the stocks and how they were behaving today. And what you will instantly see is kind of like our framework for making decisions in a more precise and more efficient sort of way. Notice everything is labeled for you. You have, on the one hand, the swing exits, and you guys, you can see my mouse off screen, right? As I'm moving it around. Just want to make sure. Okay, thanks, Fernando. So every stock you see the smart stop, which is your area for today. In other words, you know, we want you to get out of the market today with some gains, or rather not be exposed to big losses. But if you were already in, let's say, and you were better capitalized, we're giving you an ability to really stay within the bigger trend. Big swings. But if you want to go for the big one, you know, a $5 stock could also become a $50 stock. This is your stay-in price. And again, it will adjust. So through idea surfing, through labeling, again, notice the windows. I never had to configure anything. I just went to my Netflix and pressed the price movement up channel. In other words, show me all the winners. So these are the streaming windows, which is kind of like, again, a condensed Twitter feed or Instagram feed of just like stuff that's moving right now and things are happening. Again, it's literally as it happens. Then over here you have these other windows. The T is called a top list. Top meaning is that you can sort it in ascending or descending order. And of course here, once I turn on surfing, you're going to see that the surf is right at the bottom right there, and then it's going to jump in a few seconds to biggest gainers this week. So these are the stocks, of course, that are gained the most this week. Next, you have the stocks that have gained the most this month, and then of course the year. And you can sort and resort, and you can see stocks that are big yearly gainers but that are doing well today. There's just almost unlimited way to view the information, but every time you pull something up, and this is again really aimed at both, because by the way, guys, if you are Trade Ideas customers, you understand that we innovate very quickly, so a lot of the stuff has not been available for that long. But I really love just this breakdown right here. You know, look, profit target gets you through to the day, long term. 1, 2, 3. I mean, there it is. What are you missing, right, in the trade? After everything else is said and done, it's really about your ability to withstand risk. If you want to be, and here, by the way, the AI is not saying for you to do it. It's just saying, how would it handle it if it were you? That's the difference. We're going to get to the AI, what it's doing. But again, on some of these, especially some of these gigantic moves, right, that happen so quickly where a stock is Hey Scott, I had a crazy malfunction. The Are you there? Can you hear me? Anyone else? Are we visible? Because we went offline. Okay, let me show my screen again. There was a webinar malfunction. Sorry guys, hold on 1 second. Hold on. Okay, can everyone hear me? Let me make sure that I change my name so you know what's going on. Guys, these things happen. It's really weird. I just literally lost my internet connection, and somehow I was in the middle of showing you guys what was going on, and then boom, it just disappeared. But it looks like we're back. So again, my apologies. Sorry about that. There's a lot of you here. So to catch you guys up, what I'm doing is I'm showing you best practices and the fact that we are taking away the need for you to have to draw tons and tons of indicators, and instead what we are doing is we're making it possible for you to evaluate any situation at a very quick level through today's information, long-term information, AI signals, like again, past history. You can see what the AI has done, and also then you start to understand that the AI is not just for day trading, it's also for swing trading. But again, volatility, these are the things that you cannot predict that this was going to happen. This happened as a subsequent event, and then this happened. I mean, look at this. This is not an easy thing to ride into. But my point being is, now you have the levels, and whatever you want to do, whichever stock you're going to be in, and again, obviously these are really, they're gigantic gainers. I mean, that's why you're seeing all this kind of information. But that's what you want to see. This is what the channels are for, so you didn't have to sit there and configure it. Let's go to something else, just as an example. Social media. And here, once again, the difference is that you've got your roadmap on the daily. Remember the rule, if the smart stop is below the swing stop, it's the smart stop. But again, all these actual levels continue to adjust and give you the feedback of if you should or should not be in it. That's the thing that we really wanted to change for investors. We want to be able to give you an environment where you're not doing this and setting this up and doing all the clicking, because ultimately, right, to make the money, to get the most out of this game, you've got to put your money to work, and you want to put it to work in the smartest way possible. So how do you do that? Well, you have the roadmap. So yes, William, when the smart stop is below the swing stop, it is the swing stop. In other words, there's no, like, it supersedes. That's usually happening when the smart stop becomes below, like it's going to be below maybe a 52-week low. It's kind of telling you, do not stay in it if you're down. That's the big thing that we often discuss, which is, and my goal here always is simplification. There's only 4 things that can happen in the stock market. There are small gains and big gains, and there's small losses and big losses. And if you can eliminate one of them, the big losses, you go on to win. How do you do that? Well, you do that by having a roadmap. The map is the key. So we wanted to do is give you a map on the chart. Of course, we have some kind of like road additional like indication. Right here you have the 50-day SMA, which is blue right here, and the 13-day EMA. So you can see both together, the longer term moving averages, the exponential. The idea is that not to be sitting there configuring and looking for the next great indicator. It's already there. Okay, so now what are we really unusual about? And I'm going to talk about lots of the things that you see here and how it applies to you. But I'm going to close this window just because we don't need it. And I'm going to talk about the artificial intelligence. This is a system that teaches you in real time how to trade. It also gives you signals in real time that you can follow. It's color coded so that you go into the color spectrum that leads you in the right direction. Stay in the blue, avoid the red, and the black is unknown. It could go either way. So unlike any other company in fintech, what we have is a system right here that gives you signals throughout the day as our statistics see them. So for example, the first one today was Oracle, then TRGP, and then BNFT. Okay, BNFT also hit the target too, which was really nice in risk on mode. But in risk off mode, it got 56 cents. And again, there's 2 ways you can follow the AI. There's a risk on and there's a risk off. And you can see it working because all throughout the day, you are notified which way to go. Do you stay in the position longer or do you cut it? The software works with you. It tells you what to do. This is what's so different about our company, is that we are willing to do something that others are not, which is put our money on the line. And what I mean by that is that there's no technology vendor out there that says, hey, I've got something that works. And they show it to you in real time. I mean, there's always like the newsletters and stuff like that, but that's not the same. We have something in real time that's happening that people are following in real time. Okay, and like I said before, I'm going to show you something super cool today that nobody is really supposed to know about. Are you guys ready for it? So, as I've mentioned before, what I believe really makes Trade Ideas super special is that we have no bureaucracy in the company. We do not believe that big companies innovate. I just don't think you're going to get the kind of bang for your buck out of the Schwab or TD Ameritrade or Fidelity or any of those guys in terms of technology that you get out of Trade Ideas, because not only is it not in their culture, but even if they wanted to, they wouldn't even know how to. I mean, they could buy stuff like this and then possibly try to give it away, but big companies just don't create this sort of stuff. So we've been so far ahead that one of the things that we're working in behind the scenes is we're training the AI to do other things, to work with custom formulas, to work with different strategies that we're testing. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you what that looks like, because soon you're going to have something else. So I go to options, and this is where you kind of get to see, I've got the Corvette, you know, the Camaro, where you go open the hood and it's glass, and I've got all this. See this, the super secret? That's where like the DARPA AI that's already trading cryptocurrencies in the 7th dimension while playing 4D chess. But if I go to test, that's like our super secret, but it actually works. And I turn it on, and let me switch gears. So I'm gonna switch this and then go back to this, just so it erases all the stuff that was in there before. Okay, so all of these trades are totally different and better risk off, and I mean better risk on versus what you saw before. So take a look. So this is a totally different, breathing, other AI that's trying to be more efficient in a number of ways. Fewer trades, higher percentages, and more points, both. It's more selective. It's using slightly different variations on our statistical analysis to really try to nail, like, again, bottoms that are otherwise very hard to catch. I mean, gosh, I love this one right here. I mean, that was a beautiful one. And then I'm going to talk a little bit right now in terms of how do you know when to get back into a trade? Okay, so BPOP. This is, again, why are you here? Why are you in the Q&A? You're learning about how to trade, how to manage risk. Watch what happens in a risk situation. This is, again, is not uncommon. So here we have a buy signal right here. Okay, remember these are 5-minute bars. It comes down, comes back up, comes down, comes down, comes down, doesn't touch the stop or anything, starts to come back up. In other words, the position's floundering back to flat, consolidation, then all of a sudden volatility, boom, gets stopped out. This can happen, ladies and gentlemen. This means that you got to execute risk. Like when this happens, you get out. But what happens if it goes back above the signal line? Well, here's the thing. You tend to need to or want to get back in. And look what happens. Okay, I mean, just example. It goes back up, goes all the way back, so you could have done it twice, and then continues in the direction. So this is playing the AI trade, playing the signal. And by the way, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the other way, the swing signals of it. So see this like area of consolidation right here. Again, we do not concern ourselves with formulas and indicators. All of that's done on the back end. By the way, I'll get to answering the questions and stuff like that. So right here, I'm above this consolidation area. I look right here, BPOP. I right click just above all of it, and I create my alert and say it's on. Save. Boom. So now I'm kind of saying, okay, the AI told me here, but once it gets to here, we're sort of off to the races, and I can really even get it right down there. So that's how Trade Ideas works. It's assisting you. If you miss this one today, well, you might get the perfect signal for it tomorrow. If it doesn't happen, then hey, it didn't work out. If you didn't take this during market hours, okay? So in terms of risk on and risk off, let me explain what that means. So in Trade Ideas, we assume that there are different people with different financial characteristics. In other words, you can be an investor who only has $25,000 to risk, and let's just say it's the only $25,000 you're ever going to have to risk. So you have to be very, very careful with it. You have very small room for error. That is a risk-off trader. In other words, you're going to follow this AI exactly the way it says so. When it gets in, Entry time, when it gets off, exit time. That's risk off. So here, let me just point to what that looks like. 87-cent winner. Here, let's go by time. I like to do this on them, so you can kind of see like how would have the day unfolded. And this is again a very important example of how not to get psychological into your own head and keep it systematic. So here we start the day, and I'm in California, so it's 7 a.m. Okay, first trade is a short in this guy right here, which by the way looks, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click here, trade. Whoops, not trade. Sorry guys, went to the wrong system. Create an alert and say short, and say looks like crap. Do you guys like that sophisticated knowledge there? Boom, right here. So I'm going to bring this up to here. Notice it's below the swing stop, which can be a great signal. That's another area of support right here. When it goes below here, probably going to be a good short. So again, it doesn't have to, but I'm keeping an eye on this, and this is another example that I want to show you of how people utilize trade ideas to get their own ideas or continuation. So the BPOP, and I'll get to that, Dave, as well. So okay, so the first trade was a short, lose 25 cents. Next trade, long on STX. So this is another one that I just kind of love, okay? Because as humans, we are instinctively taught to buy low and sell high, but in the market, because of all the convoluted stuff that everyone is taught, which should all be thrown away, you're taught to never try to pick a bottom, which is kind of ridiculous because it's almost silly. It can be done. And here you have, because what happens is there's this thing called reversion to the mean. You can look it up, but kind of talks about how things can be extended in either direction, the upside or the downside. So when you see a strategy called on support, kind of saying like, hey, this thing is like in an area where it's held before. It's like it has a history of not going too far below here. That's what on support means. So it throws a buy area, a buy signal, and that's what it looks like. So the next trade, boom, 54-cent pickup on support. Look, this one, I almost too perfect. And again, look at this. It's not like this is, going down and up. It's trying to be smart. It's doing all the things for you that you would want to do yourself. One of the reasons why businesses can do better, for example, because of navigation, is because all the people that can go to a restaurant that they otherwise, let's say, wouldn't have gone to, know how to get there, or people that are traveling. Navigation helps a lot because it makes it simple to get around. You don't have to spend a lot of time preparing, which is what we used to have to do. Let's say you have to go out of town or on a long drive, you have to take out the AAA map and highlight the route and then watch. Now it's much better. This is the same thing. This is your navigation. This is your navigation for active risk management, which is the smart risk management. Everything you've been told previously about indexing and being passive is a lie. I'm going to make sure you heard me. It is a lie. It's a lie to give your money away to other people and then charge fees for it. And again, now it's, maybe the fees aren't big. But the point is, and I've said this in many presentations, you are not going to get wealthy by investing in an index. You have to find opportunities that have extraordinary percentages. So here again, you can see the percentage winners in terms of risk on. You can see the percentage winners in terms of risk off, and what that looks like. This is your guide. So during the day, when you see the blue, you know that these strategies, these positions, these are the positions that are working. So if you are not in early, you can still trade around the blue. Notice, it doesn't always go just up right away. So in the BPOP, what I'm saying is that you would have gotten in and you would have been stopped out here. That happens. But you would have needed to get back in, which also happens. Okay. So what I'm showing you right now is the super hidden AI. And we've talked about the fact that if you do nothing all day and you just come back from work and you want to really learn how to trade, okay, it's not about watching videotapes. Forget that stuff. You got to watch reps of real trades being put on, and there's no other software that's going to replay to you real trades put on by an expert all day long. The beauty is that the expertise is not only in our premium product. Okay, as I switch channels, we've talked about this lead before, and again, some of you who are, let's say, new to trade ideas, you know, we have the basic and we have the premium software, as Scott had mentioned earlier. But even with the basic software, notice what you're seeing here. We're on a channel that's called surge, which means that a volume surge, some sort of interest is happening. Something's taking place, okay? And as you're watching the software peruse through these trades, number one, you're using your subconscious because you're effortlessly remembering in a recall sort of way symbols. As you guys probably have heard, information retention in and of itself is kind of a science. Like, how do we study well? You know, we talk about being in the zone. Well, being in the zone is not sitting there and just being super fast and figuring everything out. It's counterintuitive. Being in the zone is where your mind's not really involved, you're on autopilot. How do you get on proper autopilot? Well, you get on proper autopilot by watching and observing good behavior in the stock market. And we have built this good behavior into every single one of our channels. If you want to see what's going on the earnings side, you know, again, more fundamentally focused, you do not have to, again, sit there and fight with the day traders. You can have a completely different longer term perspective. But wherever you go, whether it's the earnings channel, up with earnings today, down with earnings today, up with earnings tomorrow, down with earnings tomorrow. Notice again, you didn't have to configure anything. Fernando, you are so sweet. We know we totally charge too little, but I have to tell you guys something kind of cool about this. I was tweeting about this a little bit today. We've talked to some of the biggest hedge funds out there. They don't believe this stuff is good. They don't believe it because they believe wholeheartedly that if this was really valuable, we would use it ourselves to just make money for ourselves like they would. It never dawned on them that somebody would want to create a technology that empowers other people. I mean, really, they're just like, why would you do that? Why don't you just take the money and, you know, become a trillionaire and, you know, buy an island? But again, we've never been about that. We've been doing this forever. We want to help people take more control of their own money. The more you control your own money, the more you control your path. Your money is the currency of wealth. Okay, so let me really do a quick question of catching up with the question. Van Davidson, let's say I'm not ready to subscribe to the AI portion. Can you still work for me in providing these signals? Well, all of the stocks that you see, like right now, I'm currently not on any TI Pro advanced sort of stuff. The advanced stuff gives you access to the AI, which you would not have. And it gives you additional abilities to see some stuff that, again, you would learn as you get better and better in trade ideas. But the basic trade ideas is fine in terms of everything you see. You will see all these lines. You just won't see the AI. Does that answer your question? So again, take the step back, guys. You don't have to worry about all of these, how did this get here? We are the network. We do all of this. This is Netflix Alpha Predator. Alpha is a term used to describe performance above the norm. That's what it's called, alpha in trading. So here in this channel called Alpha Predator, these are the ones that are just sprinting. Okay, look at the percentages as it's surfing right here. Take a look, and you'll see what's going on. Look at the relative volume. That's the other thing that makes this interesting, is the relative volume tells you how much they're trading compared to what's normal for this stock. 19 times. So the really good question Jamie Morin asked us about backtesting. What I'll do is I'll give you guys a one-on-one backtesting lesson. So I'm going to create a window. This is our Trade Ideas alert window, because to backtest, well, you have to backtest something. I'm going to say start from scratch, and then I'm going to go to search, and I'm going to look at the 20-day, and here's an alert called crossed above the 20-day moving average. So I'm going to add this alert because we're going to use this as a signal that we will test for back testing. So this is the alert. Now I'm going to say, well, what do I want to watch? That's what's called filters. So I'm going to say, okay, for this 20-day moving average, what I'm going to do is I'm going to say price between $1 and let's say $10. Let's call it $20. And the average daily volume of, let's say, 1 million. Okay. And it's up today, let's say 1%. So it's positive. So it's crossing its 20-day moving average and up 1%. And I'm going to call this crossing 20 up 1%. So this is how you also create something on your own. So now I have a window, it's an alert window, and here you can kind of see what's going on. So this was the move that made price crossed above the 20-day SMA, which is 1, and it's confirmed by volume. If you go to history and you look up today, you can see all the different times that this happened with the stock. So now the question is, how do you backtest this? Well, what do you do in terms of how do you turn this concept into figuring out if it's something valuable? Well, let me show you. So I'm going to go and say backtest strategy. So this is going to tell me, okay, I can now take this 20-day moving average and I can say, well, is it a good trading strategy? So to have a trading strategy, well, you got to wake up in the morning, right? Do you wake up right at the open, or do you wake up a little bit later? Most people, let's just say, you know, humans, avoid the open simply because it's very volatile. So there requires a temperament. So let's start investing half hour after the market opens, so it's a little bit more calm. And then we can say, because we're a doctor and we have surgery, that we never stay till the close and we never put on trades after 11 a.m. So do you see what I'm saying? I'm taking something in the market and I'm applying it to my actual schedule, quote unquote. Okay. So now I can say, well, when do I get out? So this is when I'm trading, right? And I've got my signal, which is the 20-day moving average. When do I exit? I can try a lot of stuff out. I can get out in 30 minutes. I can get out in 45 minutes, an hour, or I can say at the close, or maybe even 10 minutes until the market ends to give me some time. So now that I can do that, and again, you can get fairly advanced. So here's my summary. I'm going to initiate trades, but remember I'm in California, so market opens later. And I haven't even gotten to any of the stops or profit targets or any of the fancy stuff, but I can just simply say, is this a good idea? Sometimes that's all you need. So here we go. So what you're seeing is a visual representation of the back test. And you're going to see something cute, because what you're going to realize is one of the secrets of the market, brought to you by Jamie. Jamie, thank you for bringing everybody in the webinar a secret of the market that they didn't know that they were going to get. Unexpected secret revelation. Let's let the software do its thing. So you can see, by the way, quite a few trades. One of the things that Trade Ideas does that's super cool is that, you know, things that would take you, like, think about it for, let's let it finish, and then I'll I'll explain. All right, so we just did 615 practice trades between February and where we are right now. And we just, we just brute forced it. We said, hey, so what's this moving average look like? So again, Jamie here gave you guys a secret that almost nobody knows, which is by yourself, without the assistance of technology like trade ideas, almost every guess you make is roughly at best this. But see, there's negative connotations with it. So out of these 615 trades, it's almost a coin flip. So what that means is you would not want to do that. So what we do, okay, and this is again a great segue. I'm going to close this up. So I showed you how to do that. Back testing is in the advanced version of the software. Okay. So these strategies right here, okay, they are already historically tested. And I'm going to go to columns and I'm going to add win percentage. So you can see, so whereas the one that I just showed you was like 50% at best, we used the computer to find all the settings to make these strategies what they are. And look, sometimes short was 62%, but today it didn't work out. Here, power hour long, we hit at 100. On support, tested 62, we hit 60. Float on, tested 62, we hit 50. 59, 50. So you can see, this is just applied mathematics. This is why you're here, guys. This is the next level, the evolution. It's not about you writing code. You're not going to come up with any code that's good. It's not that I want to be mean, okay? But this whole notion of some dude sitting there and discovering like a system that works, that ain't going to happen. We're trying everything. Right now, while you're sitting there listening to my incredible dissertation on the stock market, our software is working. It is processing information. There's just no competition to that kind of number processing. We are the winners in this space. The only difference is that most people have not heard about us, and that is because we're not deep state. Who said that? Brad, I thought you were quiet. Now that Brad, always fighting. Yeah, we are a software company that's been founded by the people that have skin in the game. We still do what we do. We continue to innovate, and the game is not about you guys getting better at tweaking our software. The game is about you realizing this is what you need, getting it, and then applying your capital. And we have, again, everything that revolves around it. We have a full university type of educational system. We've worked very hard bringing that up to date, and it's not about $4,000 courses, by the way. That's the education sits there for our subscribers so that you can become better at what you do. And we create and provide a plethora of material for you to work with all throughout the day. One of them, of course, is this ebook, which is kind of time appropriate. We are a subscription business. But today we get to use incredible technology that has never touched venture financing, has no outside investors, just us, the boys, Bo and Luke, Duke, Uncle Jesse, Cletus, working day and night for you, the people, not for large companies, not for Schwab, not for Fidelity, but for you. And look at the price that you pay for artificial intelligence. So Dan, for the custom filter stuff, if you shoot us an info, we have a person that's an expert in custom filters, and they'll help you out with all of that. Please understand, you're getting AI for lunch. We do a Friday podcast, myself and Jamie Hodge. Sometimes we have guests, but we continue to go into the deep, deep, deep state of fake finance and all the conspiracies surrounding that. We hope you tune in. Lots of fun. Super easy to get a hold of. I'm at Trade Ideas 1, again, for your stock market conspiracy craziness. And our corporate is at Trade Ideas, very polite and nice. please like us on Facebook. We're very easy to get a hold of on email, info@trade-ideas.com, or of course, dan@trade-ideas.com. And I forgot that for everyone here, there's a promo code. March2Alpha, in all caps, will give you 15% off of the first month or a year off of premium. And this software, guys, I mean, for what we pay, I mean, for what you pay for what we do, this is a win-win scenario for everybody. We hope you take a look. Scott, is there anything that you would like me to add?
No, it sounds good. We'll have the recording up later on tonight or tomorrow morning, and we'll send out an email reminder how to find it.
Okay. Thank you, everybody. Really appreciate you taking your time. Next time, Brad will most likely be here, but we appreciate it. Take care.
Thanks all.